I probably shouldn't be saying this, but that neon blue rinse sitting on your bathroom sink, yeah, it's less healthcare, more chemical cosplay. Big Dental's billion-dollar mascot, and you've been swishing it around like it's saving your life, when it might actually be cutting it short. Think I'm exaggerating? Mouthwash doesn't fix bad breath, it doesn't stop gum disease, and it sure as hell doesn't kill parasites. Remember those squatters we saw under your gums in the last video? Mouthwash doesn't evict them, it just sprays perfume on the crime scene. Here's the forbidden truth. Antiseptic rinses don't just freshen your breath. Studies suggest they can slash your nitric oxide production by up to 90%. That's the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax. Without it, your blood pressure spikes, your arteries stiffen, and suddenly your fresh breath habit is flirting with hypertension. Congrats, you just swapped morning funk for heart disease light. And that's just the opening act. Some rinses nuke your good bacteria, the very allies your immune system depends on. Others? They're so acidic they sandpaper your enamel. But don't worry, we'll get to the horror reel in a minute. By the end of this ride, you'll know which rinses keep your mouth fresh without nuking your arteries, sabotaging your gums, or throwing a rave for your parasites. And trust me, once you see what's hiding behind that minty fresh label, you'll never look at your bathroom shelf the same way again. So buckle up. The autopsy on mouthwash starts now. Minty, refreshing, confidence in a bottle. At least that's what the ads promised. But let's get real. Mouthwash didn't become a household religion because it worked. It became one because Madison Avenue told your grandparents that bad breath was a sin, mint was salvation, and swishing neon liquid made you irresistible. Yeah, welcome to the 1950s, when fresh breath was branded as sexy, clean, and practically patriotic. Forget brushing, right? Forget fixing gum disease. Just gargle chemicals and call it a lifestyle. It's the same playbook as cologne. Mask the smell, don't fix the mess. But here's the scam. Bad breath isn't usually about not rinsing enough. It's about gum disease, dry mouth, or, surprise, parasites. You can dump a mint factory in your mouth, but if parasites are tunneling through your gums or bacteria are leaking toxins, you're just spraying Febreze on a dumpster fire. And you know what's wild? Most people know it doesn't work. You swish, you burn, you spit, and within an hour, boom, bad breath is back. Rinse, repeat. If that's not the definition of a scam, I don't know what is. Still convinced mint equals clean? I don't know what cave you've been living in, but it must smell fantastic. Because in the real world, fresh breath is marketing, not medicine. And if you think masking bad breath is harmless, hang tight. Because some of these rinses don't just fail, they erode your enamel like soda. So, about that minty miracle you've been swishing, it doesn't just fail, it goes full scorched earth. Antiseptic mouthwash is like dropping napalm on your microbiome. Sure, it kills the bad guys, but it also wipes out the good bacteria, the ones actually protecting you. It's carpet bombing your mouth when all you needed was a sniper. And here's the kicker. Without those good bacteria, your immune system's frontline troops, peptides like LL37 and defensins, can't do their job. Remember in the parasite video when we caught those freeloaders munching on your white blood cells? Well, mouthwash basically fires your bouncers before the bar fight even starts. No security, all chaos. Guess who thrives in that chaos? Yep, the squatters, Entamoeba, Trichomonas, the whole parasitic gang. You just nuked their rivals and handed them the keys. Parasites love a sterilized battlefield. They move in, multiply, and now your gums are their private buffet. And it doesn't stop there. Ever notice that after rinsing, your mouth feels squeaky clean until it doesn't? That's because your ecosystem is trashed. No balance, no defense. Just a chemical desert where the worst bugs set up camp. Still think burning pain in a mint blast means clean? That's like saying a forest looks great after you torch it. Sure, no weeds, also no trees, no birds, no life. Just ash. But don't worry, the horror show's not over. Because nuking your bacteria isn't even the dumbest part. Some of these rinses are busy dissolving your teeth while they're at it. If carpet bombing your microbiome wasn't bad enough, some mouthwashes double down with acid and booze. Yeah, you heard me. You're basically gargling cocktail mix and calling it healthcare. Let's start with the acid crew. Certain rinses clock in at a pH around 3. For context, that's in the same league as cola. You wouldn't sip soda all day and expect your enamel to thank you, right? Yet people swish acidic mouthwash every morning like it's holy water. The result? Your enamel gets sandblasted, microscopic erosion, day after day, until cavities stroll in like they own the place. Now the alcohol gang. Those fiery rinses, they're not killing germs, they're drying out your mouth. And a dry mouth is basically a VIP pass for bacteria and parasites. Saliva is supposed to buffer acids, deliver minerals, and keep your mouth balanced. Strip it away with booze, and congratulations, you just made your mouth stinkier and more vulnerable. Oh, and studies suggest chronic use of alcohol-based rinses may even increase oral cancer risk. But sure, minty burn equals clean. Here's the savage truth. That tingle isn't health, it's damage. You must be out of your mind if you think burning your gums means it's working. That's like believing your skin's healthier after a sunburn because it feels warm. And if you're still clinging to your neon rinse, buckle up, because wrecking your teeth is child's play. The real horror, it's what happens to your heart every time you swish. Remember that tiny molecule I teased, nitric oxide. Think of it as your blood vessel's chill pill, the chemical that says, relax vessels, flow easy. Your body makes it a few ways, but one of the sneakiest is a team effort. You eat nitrate-rich foods, salad, spinach. Your saliva's bacteria convert nitrate to nitrite, and eventually, your body turns that into nitric oxide. It's low-key brilliant teamwork. Now, here's the crime scene. Antiseptic mouthwash carpet bombs those very bacteria. Studies suggest some antiseptic rinses can reduce oral nitrate-reducing bacteria and nitric oxide production dramatically. Some researchers report NO drops as high as around 90% after heavy antiseptic use. That isn't an inconvenience. That's the difference between a relaxed vascular system and one that's being throttled. What does that look like in real life? A handful of clinical studies have linked regular antiseptic mouthwash use to measurable increases in blood pressure. Yes, real upticks in systolic numbers. In plain terms, the thing you swish for, fresh breath, can quietly nudge your arteries toward hypertension over time. Dr. Nathan Bryan and other NO researchers have been sounding the alarm about this enterosalivary pathway for years. So if you ever rinsed and felt lightheaded, dizzy, or weirdly off, don't reflexively blame the coffee. Drop a bong in the comments. Let's see how many bathroom shelf casualties we've got. All right, horror show acknowledged. Time for the part you actually care about. How to keep your breath fresh and your vessels relaxed. Let's talk solutions. Because if your teeth are something you actually cherish, for chewing, smiling, not whistling through gaps, then you should probably listen carefully to what's coming. Here's the twist. You don't need lasers, $40 rinses, or whatever miracle goo Big Dental's hawking. The eviction tools are embarrassingly simple. Dr. Bonner's parasite-focused routine. Hydrogen peroxide diluted to 1%, baking soda mixed with salt. Used daily, with proper flossing, not the saw one tooth and quit move, and gum pockets closed in 95 to 97% of cases. But maybe you want bonus ammo. Fine, here's the cheat sheet. Chew xylitol gum, starves the worst bugs. Try oil pulling with coconut or sesame oil. Parasites hate it. Sip green tea, antioxidant plus natural antimicrobial. Rinse with salt water, simple, effective, zero drama. For cavity-prone folks, go with alcohol-free, neutral pH fluoride rinses. Pinch yourself if you need to. Yep, your spice rack, grocery store, and $2 pharmacy aisle just outperformed a $200 billion industry. Oops, hope Big Dental enjoys crying into their mint cocktails. So next time you swish that neon stuff, remember, you're not freshening, you're fumigating yourself. And if that sounds like a dumb trade for minty confidence, maybe it's time to switch teams. Because your teeth, they're not optional. Unless, of course, you like soup forever. So let's call this what it is. Mouthwash isn't medicine, it's marketing. A chemical masquerade ball in a plastic bottle. It doesn't fix parasites, it doesn't protect your gums, and studies suggest it can quietly jack up your blood pressure while it erodes your enamel. Minty burn doesn't equal clean. It equals damage dressed as confidence. The irony? The real solutions are cheap, boring, and sitting in your kitchen. Hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, salt, xylitol, green tea, oil pulling. You heard me right. Your spice rack, grocery store, and $2 pharmacy aisle just dunked on a $200 billion industry. Grocery store, 1. Big dental, 0. Now, here's the part I probably shouldn't say out loud. Exposing this doesn't exactly earn me a thank you card and a free toothbrush from the dental aisle. But I don't care. There's an old proverb, even if you cover the sun with your hand, it won't stop shining. Truth doesn't care if it makes billion-dollar industries squirm. So if you're still clinging to your neon rinse, ask yourself this: do you really cherish your teeth, your gums, your arteries? Or are you just renting them out to the highest bidder? Because swishing isn't cleaning. It's Febreze in a dirty bathroom. Looks fresh, still gross. And this was just the warm-up. Next, we're going deeper into gum disease itself. How to actually reverse it without selling a kidney, without gimmicks, and without big dental holding you hostage. Subscribe before your teeth unsubscribe from you.